Welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. It is cold as hell. Last time I complained about being cold, who was it? It was you Wisconsin folk that were like, well, it's actually 3 degrees here, bro. So it was -1 this morning when I woke up, okay? So I'm cold. I am cold. Not as cold as the Celtics offense last night. Goof. We're gonna go into all of last night's slate. We're not gonna celebrate a dog bowl victory. Tell you that right now. Got spanked. Didn't even have to stay. Well, I did stay up and watch because the Rockets Spurs game was awesome, but we didn't win anything. Who do we got in the chat this morning? Who's up bright and early on this blustery morning? Sneeps is here. We got Sneeps. Good to see you. Matty Harrison trying to get us to talk about So Rare Sets in here. What did we get? Essentially a common collection game with the winter edition cards that is Hot Streaks contest. Okay. All right. I'm in. Regulator. Yeah, dude. The Moose is loose. The Moose is loose. The Hornets are storming up the Eastern Conference standings. You love to see it. Stubby Stubbs. Good morning. The common man's here. All right. We're going to go over last night's NBA action, tonight's slate, all of that stuff. But first and foremost, I did the Giannis thing happen right after we were live, right? That was yesterday in the afternoon, right? Where when did that tweet go up by Shammy Lama Ding Dong? Sham Sharania tweets out. It was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was like right after the show. I just also, man, the tweets are just hilarious. We got Bodavine in here, Patty Kahn, we got Slam Duncan. Good to see everybody. So here was two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Bucks. Yeah. So I guess this isn't really a trade request. It's just like a trade inquiry. Giannis didn't request this, actually. It's that the ownership is now willing to listen to offers. What, man? Just PR, just garbage, right? Gargle-a-boo. Like, what are we talking about? Just say you want to go. It's time to go. It's fine. Nobody's going to be mad at you, Giannis. But he's definitely played his last game for the Bucks. We're not going to see him suit up again. Even if he's not traded until next year or until the offseason, there's just no way. There's no way to bring him back. He's ready for a new home. Is it just in a different part of Milwaukee? Like maybe he's a Burbs guy. He's done being in the city. Wants to be a Burbs guy. Giannis needs the trade to happen because of the 6-month rule for contract extension. Yeah, but I just don't like Giannis needs that. But again, I don't think they're just going to be like, "Wow, we gotta trade Giannis before February 5th. If we don't trade him before February 5th, he can't do the contract extension. So you know what? We'll do it for Zubats and a pick in 2038." You know what I mean? Like the Bucks still have to. I know Giannis has a little bit of wiggle room here or force that he can be like, "Hey, let's go do this. Like I want to go to New York. I want to go to Miami. I want to go to Golden State." Right? I know he has some of that, but Milwaukee also has an obligation to get correct value, right? And with so many more teams having some flexibility in the offseason, don't you think, I don't know. You think it's happening before the deadline? After Doc's comment, it's going to happen. You're talking about the one about Joel Embiid that we talked about yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I don't know if that's the reason it does happen. Magikarp saying every trade better have Thanasis in every single one of them or they're fake deals. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know the Bay Area bros, the Golden State folk are getting themselves super excited. I know Miami's doing it. The Knicks are excited, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty big it's a pretty big deal to move around, right? For the Bucks, obviously, they have to extract the right amount of value back. For the other team, they need to be able to, like, I was seeing somebody suggested Atlanta, and they were like, well, Atlanta has Jalen Johnson, you know? Like, you could move Jalen Johnson. That could be the centerpiece of the deal. Or Bam Adebayo could be the centerpiece of the deal. And to me, that's just like swapping deck chairs on the Titanic, right? Why would Giannis be like, yeah, send me to Atlanta. Get rid of the best player they have on the team and then send me there so I could win the same amount of games. Like, send me to Miami with no Bam so I could win the same amount of games. And yeah, that's the thing with the Knicks too, is Magic Card put out there too. It's just like how, like, the Knicks don't have any. What are the Knicks going to trade, man? What are they going to trade? Golden State, they were talking about like a 3-team deal where it's like, well, you know, they could acquire Wiggins and then use the salary of, or like Jimmy Butler. And I just like, why do you want to do that too? And yeah, Emo, I'm with you, man. Like, the fact that was like breaking news yesterday, we're like, oh, hey, guys, turn on ESPN. We got to do a segment now. This is breaking news. Breaking news. The same thing we reported a week ago is also similar to the thing we reported 2 weeks ago, which is also very similar to the report that I had in July. Like, congrats, bro. Congrats. I don't know. I don't know what he does. How about Charlotte? Let's make it happen in Charlotte. That POS. Although I don't know, what would Charlotte have to give up? Charlotte has a ton of picks, right? Charlotte has a ton of picks. Bam and Giannis have the same agent and have chatted about playing together. How many agents are there, by the way, in the NBA? I'm sure Weisberg is like, well, actually, there are 17 different agents. But like, how many? Because it feels like everybody's agent is also everyone else's agent. It's Bam's agent and Giannis's agent. They're Eskimo brothers, right? Back in 1988, they were both out in Las Vegas around the same time. So they've established a relationship, an intimate one at that. I saw a man that owns hundreds of millions of dollars was looking at beachfront property in Miami. Does that mean he wants to go to Miami? Or maybe it's really nice to live in Miami. I just I don't know. I don't know where he goes. I think if Atlanta was able to center a deal around, CJ McCollum, congrats, baby. You're back in another trade. But if you're able to do it around CJ, some of Milwaukee's picks, maybe some of Atlanta's future picks, I would do that. That New Orleans pick that they have next year, I would hold that shit hostage as long as you can. But if you're able to keep some other assets and you're like, hey, I tell you what, we're going to give you what's probably going to be a top 3 pick in one of the deepest drafts we've seen in a while, plus the corpse of CJ McConnell. CJ McCollum. Some other corpses we'll throw in there. Some cold hard cash. Maybe one of your other picks. And now all of a sudden you have DD, double Ds, Dyson Daniels. You have Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You still have Luke Kennard shooting threes. And then Giannis and JJ. I mean, they immediately become like a really, really fun team in the East, right? I mean, I would trust them more than the Hospital Cavs right now, who got a huge win last night, by the way. But yeah, Atlanta seems to be the one that makes the most sense, where they have assets that I think the Bucks would want. It's got like a young foundation that I think Giannis would want. Emo says maybe the Bucks and the Warriors and the Bucks bank on the Warriors' age with picks. I honestly will lose. This is too much, but I would lose a lot of respect for Giannis if Giannis was out there being like, you know what's important to me? Winning. Winning is important to me. I want to go to the best situation where I can compete for championships, and that is with 38-year-old Stephen Curry. If you just the only 5 I need: Giannis, Steph Curry, Moses Moody, Guy Santos, and Quentin Post. That, to me, screams 42 wins. You've got Giannis, who's plays for 4 weeks, out for 4 weeks. You have Steph Curry, who, again, is very close to being eligible to be playing in my league. I don't know. The late Warriors picks look good, though. No, I'm not saying that would be a bad I'm not saying that would be a bad product for Milwaukee or a bad value for Milwaukee. I'm just saying Giannis. Like, I think, oh, you're right. Backpack Draymond. I don't, are you taking that team? Are you taking Giannis, Steph? Say Draymond's still there because Jimmy's going to be in the deal. And, Kuminga's probably gone, too. Although now they're going to keep Jonathan Kuminga. You're taking Giannis, Steph, Draymond, Moody, and whoever against, are you taking them over the Thunder? Honestly, think I'd still be taking Denver. San Antonio, I don't know. Dre has to go to make it work. Okay. We're all going to be upset when the Thunder come out of nowhere and ruin the league. That would be pretty sick, though. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that if Sam Presti was like, oh, you thought I cared about vibes? You thought I cared about vibes? He, rips off a mask, and it was Daryl Morey the whole time. I need 3 stars! That would be sick. That would be sick. Honestly, the way the world's going right now, it wouldn't even be that shocking, I don't think. Yeah, that would be fun if they did that. I mean, obviously San Antonio could do it too, but San Antonio's looking around. The vibes in San Antonio are elite. Watched a lot of that game. Maybe we transition to that here in a second. I watched a lot of that game last night, and man, they are so fun. Yeah, Magikarp said they're winning without J-Dub right now, so J-Dub and a couple of their insane firsts. Yeah. They'd be like, hey, I know the Clippers are winning some games. How about a couple lottery picks? How about a couple lottery picks in a third-team All-NBA? J-Dub for Giannis. You get J-Dub, you get some picks. You can build around the Kuz and Jalen Williams. Now all of a sudden you're run out a starting 5 of SGA, Dort, Giannis, Chet, and Ihart. Just monsters. Just monsters. That would be nuts. I don't know. If I had to bet, I would just say it happens in the offseason. I would. I just think it's going to be hard for these teams to. Although, I don't know. Brian Windyhorst was making it seem like teams have been holding their powder dry for a long time. They've been waiting for this moment. For this moment, they are ready. So maybe we see that. Emo said, the Hawks have the Bucks swaps, but I don't know how it works with Tragon now. Yeah, it would have to be for contracts. Because CJ's still making decent money, right? So it would have to be CJ. CJ would be in there and some more salary filler. AD, a first, Gafford, and a spot on Shark Tank, who says no. Even the Hornets did not want Kuz for Bridges. Yeah, I guess they value arrest records. All right, let's talk some hoops from last night, and we can still bounce around the league with some other updates. Let's start with that Houston San Antonio game last night. I was so happy I stayed up for that one. It was a really, really fun game. These two teams are really good. Houston, man, I feel really bad for Houston. That Steven Adams injury, I think, is a bigger deal than people realize right now, and one of their advantages was just the amount of offensive boards, right? They could just kind of smother you with size. Pause. And now it's just slow. It just changes a little bit of the calculus for them. And I do think they are a team that needs to make a move at the deadline. Nothing crazy, but there's something just off here. And the Rockets, right? So they get out to a 10-point lead in the first quarter, up 8 at half. And then San Antonio. Also, I put this in the Bagel with Locks this morning. This is one of the more physical games that I've watched this year, where they were just, and I don't know if it's because Wemby and KD, both of you put them together, look like a normal width of a person, but people were just getting moved around. There was this one defensive possession late in the game. Spurs had taken the lead, and Castle is just in KD's shit. And almost not. KD's trying to push him around a little bit, being the bigger boy that he is, and Castle is just not moving. And then and Wemby with just such high IQ sees the shot clock winding down. KD's getting close to the foul line, and he's getting ready with his back to his basket, so he knows he's about to go into his motion to get a shot. Wemby just comes out and swats that shit like it was a kid on a children's hoop playing against an adult. Just kind of, like he was smacking at ace. Just slaps it away. And then even Houston, Şengün, I thought Şengün did a really good job on Wemby last night for the most part. Wemby ends up having a big night, but that first half, that first half was like really like Houston looked dominant, and it just San Antonio's physical nature and their defense wore them down. Keldon Johnson has low-key become very, very important for this team off the bench. Like Keldon ends up playing 27 minutes, got more minutes than Champagny in the starting lineup. He had 17, 7, and 5 in this one. I mentioned Wemby. I think Wemby had 8 points at halftime and like 3 boards. It was like 8 and 3 or 8 and 4. Finishes the game with a 28 and 16 line. No points from behind the arc either. Only took 3 of them. Had 5 blocks and 2 steals in this one. And again, the defensive tenacity, like the second half, was just awesome. Oh, good. This is a good update here. Mathology. Listen, we didn't win any money last night, but he did make some delicious pork chops to throw up. Seeing Black. Yeah, we'll get to Anthony Black. Just insane stuff. Sanjay was saying the last matchup was the exact same. I think the Spurs took that loss personal. They didn't want to repeat. Yeah, the physical nature of this was just so fun. And, man, San Antonio was into it. They were making stops. I mean, Castle is just a nightmare. Yeah. Castle is just a nightmare for defenses. They creates turnovers. Like, you look at this line and you're like, okay, 16, 6, and 5 with a couple of steals and a couple turnovers, like whatever. But it was just, he was all over the court doing a little bit of everything. These hands, Harrison Barnes hit 4 shots. He had 9 points. Fox had 18. Just a good physical win. A good physical win. And this, Dylan Harper, by the way, I'll be honest, like, I feel like I've been more of a box score bro with Dylan Harper. I don't know how many times I've like watched Harper play like real minutes, because minutes have been kind of all over the place. Dylan Harper he is so, like, his first, I don't want to say it's his first step, because I don't think it's his first step, but it's like his first move around the rim. His finishing is just really, really impressive, man. Like he had a couple possessions where he got, I don't know if it was a rebound down low. He was somehow in the paint, and I was like, oh, he's, Amin Thompson's around him, Şengün's around him. There's a lot of size around him, and he's just so crafty around the rim. It was just solid finishes, 8 for 11 from the field in 22 minutes, 16, 4, and 3. I mean, this team is good right now and is going to be good later if they can just stay healthy. Shout out Lindy Wattage the third. He got a minute in there. Houston, I don't think this is like a problematic loss or anything like that. KD played 36 minutes. KD was hot in the first half. He really slowed down in the second half, 24 and 6. Tari Eason, I did not know this. Well, let me actually look this up. They said something on the broadcast, and I don't know if it's for corner threes, but I want to see what this looks. Tari Eason, I believe they said, is leading the entire NBA in three-point shooting. 47% from 3, Tari Eason. Tari Eason and who was it? Luke Cornett almost got into it, and I love that because Luke Cornett is like the goofiest motherfucker in the league, right? And he seems to be boys with everybody, opponents, refs, fans, and they almost got into it. It was really, really fun. But yeah, Tari Eason, I know he didn't have like a crazy game or anything. Only had 10 points, but he went 2 for 3 from 3, 3 steals and a block. Only played 25 minutes. I wonder if they limited him a little bit so that they can run him back out again tonight against Atlanta. And then Amin Thompson has taken a leap here in the last. I mean, he's been good all year, but the last couple of weeks, he's just been cooking. 25, 7, and 4 in this one. Finally, we haven't had a stock game from Amin Thompson in a while. 4 steals and a block. I'm going to give Amin some credit and then make fun of him a little bit because there were 2 possessions that were really funny. He had on a 2-on-1 throwdown that was just like he cocked it back. It was really nice. It almost looked like a dunk contest dunk. Like he just cocked it back and threw it down. And then it was a couple minutes later, he tried to do the same thing on Wemby. And you see him go up. And then as he's coming down, he's like, oh, shit, and gets rid of the ball. It was just really funny. But good win for the Spurs, 111-99. They moved to 32 and 15. Rockets dropped to 28 and 17. Wemby, man, also look at the 28 and 16 in 29 minutes. And I think he honestly would have played more than 30, but he got in a little bit of foul trouble. And then the bench was just cooking. They went on a run. And he was trying to check in for like 2 whole minutes there for his last rotation, and the ball just wouldn't stop. Like there was no dead balls or anything like that. So that was part of the reason he was sub 30. Let's go to the Cavs here. Let's go to the Cavs because, man, they just blew the hell out of the Lakers. So much for LeBron James's homecoming game, huh? They played a little tribute. They played a tribute for him. And then every single Twitter account, from ESPN reporters to Underdog to like NBA Centel to Khaleesi, both the betting, the market prediction and the Mother of Dragons, like everybody went out there, tweeted out the video being like, oh my God, LeBron James so emotional in his return. We have jumped, the internet's jumped the shark. I don't need to do that all the time. I don't need it. I don't need every one of your fucking accounts to tweet that out. Anyways, LeBron 3 for 10 from the field. He was bad. Luka, guys, what's with this raised court? Stubbs, are you still in the chat? Does Cleveland? I didn't know this was always happening. Cleveland plays every game like it's the NCAA championship on these raised floors. Luka did his little step back shot and then his like 1 foot leg hop backwards. And then because of the raised floor, fell off, had to go to the locker room. He came back in, but it didn't matter because the Cavs, no Mobley, no Garland, and they beat that ass, belt the ass, up by 30, 129-99. Now, regulator, this would have been, like you could say, 30 burger in this spot. You want to know why? Because they won by 30. Not that they were up by like 38 at one point. You know what I'm saying? What are the odds that LeBron retires after this season? No, he's got one more in him. He's got one more in him. Vince Carter meme. Do it right there. He is, yeah, I agree with this. This is what, he's the ego, and I mean, rightfully so. You got to give that guy a farewell tour. We got it. He would have announced by now, I think. Dominating, back to playing 19 minutes. Good for him. Luka was great in the 30 minutes. I mean, 12 for 20 from the field. He had 29, 6, and 5. But it was an ugly-ass game. Spider, 25 points, 3 for 9 from 3. Look at Jalen Tyson, man. Jalen Tyson just cooking. 26 and 6 in his 29 minutes. And then J.A., 8 for 11 from the field, 17 and 9. Good win for Cleveland, man. 29 and 20, dude. We're going to look at the Eastern standings in a little bit. They are coming. They like the East is about to get a little bit funky. They missed up a grade issue during construction change order. Great. I hate it. Wait, do you think LeBron would like all the attention? It still depends. It depends. Let's actually do this now. Let's go over to some of these games because the Knicks win 119-92 in one of the weirdest games of the night. Okay, so Jalen Brunson, we get at like 4 o'clock. The Knicks are like, hey, we saw JB has been sneezing in the locker room, so maybe a Q tag here. And then he ends up playing. So myself and everybody else is like, oh my God. In the drafts, I got Jalen Brunson at like pick 28. Can you imagine that value? He was going at pick 17 like 2 hours ago. Now I got him at 28. And then he played 30 minutes and he had 13 and 4 with 4 turnovers. Sick. Josh Hart. Oh, Josh Hart's going to be limited tonight. Josh Hart, the back-to-back, he's got the knee stuff. He might not. He plays 35 minutes. He's 22, 6, and 5. OG Anunoby took his revenge seriously. He had 8 stocks. He had 6 steals, 2 blocks, 26 points. The Raptors outscored the Knicks 28-18 in the first quarter. Then it's like at halftime, a little 4-point lead. The Bing Bong Boys dropped 35 and 37 in the third and fourth and just blow this shit out the water. The Raptor, Brandon Ingram, he had 27 and 6. You had Scotty with 17, 10, and 5, but also 5 turnovers. CMB returned, which is good for them. He had 4 blocks. That's kind of fun. Man, CMB is going to be a menace moving forward. But anyway, so Knicks moved to 29 and 18. Raptors fall to 29 and 20. Let's do the rest of let's do all the games, then we'll look at it. The Hawks here, 117-106. I got to tell you, man, I was pretty... As a Celtics fan, I was pretty disappointed in this Boston performance here. This was really bad, man. This was a really bad Celtics game, and a couple of Celtics narratives here before and after the game. So one thing, let's first shout out Onyeka Okongwu, who I imagine is going to be in front of somebody, some doctor, some dentist this morning, because I'm not showing the video or the photo. It's disgusting. He's missing what I can only imagine is 45 teeth in his mouth after taking a vicious Jaylen Brown elbow. And then, man, the hardest working Boston Celtic last night was Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla, I think he was just trying to fire up his team. Joe Mazzulla had Sam Cassell, Sam Cassell's too old to be doing this shit too. Had Sam Cassell just kind of wrapping him up like they were grappling him at UFC 69. Like just kind of, come on. And then Joe was elusive. Joe's elusive. He made Sam do a couple moves. He was the hardest working guy. There was no Namias Keita. As mentioned in the morning, Amari Williams got the start. Luka Garza ended up playing 24 minutes off the bench. And this goes back to, well, first, hold on. Jalen Johnson, great game, 19, 14, and 7. Dyson Daniels had 5 steals in this one. Atlanta's now 1 game under 500. Celtics moved to 29, or dropped down to 29 and 18. And the Derek White shooting stuff continues. 1 for 5 from 3. JB was 0 for 5 from 3. He had 21 and 7. Peyton Pritchard 0 for 3 from 3. But this is, so 2 things came out of this game on the Celtics side of things. First, reports came out that I'm assuming were Clippers. This has to be Clippers sources leaking this. And I think they're doing it for 2 reasons. 1, they're saying, hey, we're trying to win basketball games. And then 2, they're saying, if you want to come at us for Zubats, it's going to cost you a lot more. So the report that the Clippers said they declined the offer was Anthony Simons, a first-round pick, and a first-round swap for Ivica Zubats and some salary filler. Now, I know the Celtics diehards are going to be like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Anthony Simons? You can't recreate that shot creation off the bench that we get for Anthony Simons. You're going to give us a big white European? No, thank you, unless his name's Nikola Jokic. And even still, in that situation, I think I would take Anthony fucking Simons. So I know there's a lot of people that are upset about that. Listen, the Luka Garza thing is cute. The Portuguese prince that was promised to Namias Keita, I think he has done a great job. I think he's one of the best contracts in the NBA right now. I think he is awesome for 22 minutes a game. But the Celtics' interior defense is just, I mean, they do a good job rebounding for the size that they have. But, like, you had 2 weeks of Jordan Walsh. You had 2 weeks of Josh Minott where it was a thing. And one of the things that I was worried about this season with Boston is that going against this team, and I've used this, I used to use this to explain the Pacers, the Pacers style of play last season, is it's like when you play this team one time, right? You're not in a playoff series. You play them one time. It's like going up against, a knuckleball pitcher, where I don't think you're just used to seeing this. You're like, hold on. Jordan Walsh is covering Maxey, and now he's covering Embiid, right? Like, they can just kind of throw these weird looks at you, but I don't know how sustainable it is in a playoff series. And maybe this is an overreaction to losing to like a home game to an Atlanta team that's sub 500, and then a road game last weekend to the Chicago Bulls, right? But I do think there is some concern. Like, okay, is Jaylen Brown going to continue to be one of the most efficient players in the league that averages 30 points a game? You just need, if you get a subpar game from White and Pritchard, or White and or Pritchard, it just makes things really difficult for you, and you can't do anything incorrectly, right? And so that's why, I mean, I'm like pro the Zubats move. Especially, although I don't think the Celtics are going to do anything at the deadline. I don't. I think, if anything, it's like, Boucher gets moved or something like that. The second thing, and this is maybe the most confusing thing that happened yesterday. Out of everything that happened yesterday, this is the most confusing. So last night, as I'm nice and sleepy, tucked into bed, because it's really cold, watching KD and Amen run around, Chris Haynes gets a report. Chris Haynes has a report that Jason Tatum is now reevaluating if he's going to come back this season because he wants to be 100% when he comes back. First of all, no shit. Of course you have to be 100% when you're coming back from a catastrophic injury like that. What I don't understand, and I use this example in the Celtics Daily, which isn't out yet, what Tatum has essentially done this year, if he does not come back, and on the record, I am okay with Tatum not coming back this year. I said that at the beginning of the season. I feel that way now. Like, just come back when you're ready. Who cares if you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or not? Not me, because we get chips in Boston. But Tatum has kind of treated this like a parent telling a 17-year-old in October, hey, we're going to get you a brand new car for Christmas. Merry Christmas, son. You can drive now. You have your license, and we want to get you a brand new car. And then Christmas comes and it's a little tight car, or like a Power Wheel, although Power Wheels are sick. And it's that instead. That's kind of what he's done. Where like the season started and he did a press tour like he had a New York Times bestseller book coming out. Like he was Chuck Klosterman going on Adam Friedland's podcast. He went on every show possible. And he was like, oh no, I plan on playing. I plan on playing. Leaking videos of him dunking. And it was like, hey, everybody come watch me do practice, right? Everybody come watch me practice. What's most surprising about this report is just yesterday or 2 days ago, he was on the Ryan Clark podcast, which, Tatum, if your PR people are listening, you don't need to do Ryan Clark's podcast. Like if we had to, outside of Andrew Schultz, if I could just pick a podcast that we could get rid of right now, I think it would be Ryan Clark's. But he was just on there basically, just kind of saying, like even his shooting coach was in the chat being like, yeah, he's been playing pickup basketball already. I don't even know why we're doing this. I think if I had to guess, I would say he comes back. But yeah, honestly, LeBron is really, this is Magic Card for the podcast listeners saying, honestly, Bron is really proud of the attention he's created for himself. Yeah. I mean, I've heard more from Tatum this year than I have from Derek White. Like he's constantly talking about it. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll have to wait and see. I would lean him coming back based on everything he did. I will say Chris Haynes is usually pretty locked in with players because I think, Jason Tatum's agent is also fucked Chris Haynes' agent. But I don't know. Power Duster said he's not coming back, and that's the only right decision. I mean, like, once again, if he's 100% healthy, he'll come back, and if he's not, then he shouldn't come back. And that's what I said that at the beginning of the year. I thought it was stupid that he was going to come back, but then he kind of talked me into him saying he's coming back, so I listened to him. Did I see Bronny stealing dunk? That was a nice dunk. Yeah, it was the only good highlight from the Lakers game last night. But anyways, good win for Atlanta. This is a bad loss for Boston. I just wonder if they're coming back down to earth a little bit, or maybe it was just some shooting variance. I don't know. All right, the other East Coast game was. Well, we'll do them all. Orlando finally got their shit together. And yeah, as Mathology mentioned, Anthony Black went nutso last night. He had 26 points, 4 for 7 from 3, 4 steals and 2 blocks. Get the F out. Suggs, 29 minutes from Jalen Suggs. You love to see that. 16, 5, and 4. Bane had 23. Mr. Perlu, 11 for 23 from the field, 31 and 12. They get the W. Miami's on a back-to-back. They'll play tonight. Bam continues to just play good basketball here. 21 and 12. Khalil Ware is back. He played 7 minutes. Eric Spoelstra for president. Jaime Jaquez gave him 28 off the bench. Norm was questionable. He played 28. Good win for Orlando, who's now 2 games over 500. Then we got Minnesota and Dallas. I'm not going to talk too much about this one, just because, like, regular season Randall, baby. 31, 5, and 4. Ant came on strong late. He had 26 and 6. Minnesota gets the W, 29-19, 29 and 19. The Mavericks, no Cooper Flag in this one. Couple of good notes here. PJ Washington, let's do a drop. Let's do the PJ drop. PJ played 30-plus minutes. Let's do it. Where is it? Hold on. Wrong drop. I almost played Luka Magic. Can't do that. They got their ass beat. Where is it?
PJ Washington. PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
Real quick, no, Boston did not. They specifically did not get the injured player exception for Tatum. And then you said, but the timeline is not one that leads to 100% healthy Achilles. This timeline is the same timeline as Drew Smith, who tore his Achilles and he's playing basketball. So there is actually precedent now for it. But I agree with you. Like, I think he should not come back. But I do. It's on the table. Anyway, so Minnesota's got a big game tonight. We'll get to that here in a second. And then, okay, Pacers, we got 2 games left. Pacers won 113-110. Weirdly, like a pretty bad loss for Chicago. Giddey back in the starting lineup just about 30 minutes last night. That's fun to see. 10, 7, and 4. He was pretty bad, though. Vucci Main, 25 and 9. And then Matas Bushelish. I will say, finished with 28. I think he had 13 in like the first 8 minutes of the game. The Zag plan of the night, Nembhard was actually pretty solid. We just didn't expect all those 60-point performances from undrafted guys like OG Anunoby and Anthony Black. Nemby had 18, 9, and 6 in this one with a steal. Spicy P was very disappointing, 20 and 5. And then, hey, Jarris Walker, he's coming on again after taking some time off. He got 16 in this one. Good win for Indy. Chicago plays again tonight. And then the last game of the night, Golden State somehow dropped 140, and it felt like nobody had a good game. Steph had 27 points and 5 turnovers, more turnovers than rebounds and assists combined. Went 4 for 10 from 3. Pretty good Moody game. 26 and 5. Draymond was out there, almost snelled it. 0 points in 23 minutes. Big Al, whatever. For Utah, the surprise of the day, Lauri Markkanen played some basketball last night and 33 minutes. So he played 29 on the front end, 33 on the back end. I'm sure he was really sick. He had 18. Yusuf Nurkic, 11, 5, and 5. Welcome back down to earth, Yusuf. And then Keontae, 19, 7, and 7. Good tank job by Utah. Good win for Golden State. So I want to go over to the Eastern Conference. And I want to look at these standings because, again, as I mentioned, right, that the Celtics loss and the Knicks win moves the Knicks right up to the 2 seed in the Celtics. This has been the same. Like, these two teams have been battling for a while. Same record, Knicks tiebreaker right now. Knicks have won 4 in a row, still 5 and 5 in their last 10. Celtics also 5 and 5 in their last 10. Raptors losing that game. They moved to 29 and 20. They're 1 game back. Cleveland now, winners of 5 in a row, 8 and 2 in their last 10. They are now 1 game back. And then the Sixers 2.5 games behind them. Magic a game behind them. My point being is that the East is jammed up enough. Oh, did I skip the Hornets? I'll get to them. Sorry. The East is jammed up enough that I thought I did the Hornets. No, I didn't because it was the Grizzlies. If a team does have like a 4 and 6 stretch, a 3 and 7 stretch, there could be some real movement, and that's why again the Celtics loss last night was so frustrating because they are about to hit a soft part of their schedule where I think their next 3 are like Milwaukee, Dallas, and Sacramento before it gets tough again. Dropping games like this are pretty important because now you get to that tough part of your schedule. They are just. Like, they are not that far from the play-in. You know, it's 4.5 games out. Orlando's finally starting to get healthy. Miami might get active at the trade deadline. I don't know. I just think the East is pretty jammed up. Philly looks good right now, too. And then Cleveland, like, if they're able to continue to keep stringing together W's while they're at, like, 50% capacity right now. And then the Raptors, too, getting RJ back, who's playing, like, 20-ish minutes a game right now. CMB should be back soon. Anyways, let's get to Charlotte-Memphis. So, yeah, Charlotte won this one 112-97. Dude, Moussa Diabate. Shout out Regulator was calling the rebounds. 18 and 19. I actually thought he had 20. I feel like they took a board away from my guy. 18 and 19, also had 2 steals and a block. He was awesome. LaMelo only had to play 23 minutes in this one. I imagine it's probably like 25 tonight on the back-to-back. Connie had 10 and 6. Brandon Miller continues to stay efficient, man. 4 for 8 from 3. Knocked down all 4 free throws. He had 26. Mr. Cockbrenner. Oh, yeah, Regulator, you said, would you rather they have drafted Cockbrenner than Ugo? No. No, Ugo's got crazy upside. Cockbrenner maybe could have helped them a little bit more right now, but I love Ugo's got crazy upside. They should have drafted Cockbrenner over Amari Williams because if you remember, Cockbrenner went in the second round. And the Celtics were up to pick, and they could have taken Cockbrenner or Maxime Renaud. Instead, the Celtics traded back and drafted Amari Williams and Max Sugar later in the draft. Charlotte only look at the Charlotte free throws, right? No need to go to the line. Well, no. Miller shot 4. Musa went 1 for 2 from the line. Sexton 2 for 2 from the line. So they went 7 for 8 from the line. Memphis went 9 for 12. Memphis, man. Jaren Jackson Jr., 26, 4 and 4. Whatever. Coward played 27 minutes. That's fun. They got Jacqueline Dale back. He had 10 points. Just, vibes are bad in Memphis. War criminals, all the things. Cock is still working through an elbow injury. Yeah, I know. I still would take Ugo over him. I still would. So anyways, just real quick back to the standings because let's shout out Charlotte, who is now breathing down the neck of everybody in the East. They are 7-3 in their last 10, winners of 4 in a row. Just 2.5 games back from the Chicago Bulls. 2.5 games back from the Cox, and then 5 back from the Heat and the Magic. I hope Charlotte gets into the play-in. It would just be more fun. It'd be more fun. It would be more fun. All right, let's get into tonight's stuff. And let's try to make some. Let's have some takes. I don't know why I stopped sharing screen. We got a mess of a slate tonight. Lots of teams on back-to-back. Sacramento Kings are on the front end of a back-to-back. They're playing the Philadelphia 76ers. Russell Westbrook and Malik Monk are questionable tonight. I'm not interested in any of that shit except for Bone. 30 minutes a night, Saboner. Not really scared of this Embiid's defense, although Embiid's offense, that's another thing. Embiid and Paulie George are both probable tonight. Quentin Grimes is questionable. Quentin Grimes been playing some bad basketball lately. Bucks and the Wizards. Look at this shit right here. I'm afraid to give out this alpha for free right now. Milwaukee is on the road. Can you explain to me why the Milwaukee Bucks are favored? I don't even care if they're playing the Washington Wizards. The Milwaukee Bucks have the vibes of like season 2 of The Wire, and I don't mean like underrated. I mean bad. So Alex Sarr was coughing and sniffling, maybe sniffing. After going absolutely batshit in that game against Portland, I'm pretty sure Washington ownership looked around and they said, hey, Milwaukee's coming into town. They might be flipping the tank switch aggressively. All right. We need to make sure Alex Sarr doesn't play. We got to win against Portland by accident. We cannot beat Milwaukee. Alex Sarr is questionable tonight, and I just think there's no way he plays. Right? No way. Kuz revenge. I do think it is the Kuz. And also, is there ever been a more perfect matchup than Bobby Portis tonight? All right. So I'm going to say no Alex Sarr, then no Marvin Bagley, no Tristan Vukcevic, which means Skal Labissiere, who signed a 10-day the other day, is probably going to play some mega minutes here. So sign me up for all the Keyshawn George. Maybe Trey Johnson gets loose from 3, chucks a little bit. Ryan Rollins, Bobby Portis. And as pointed out in Bagel with Locks, I'm legally obligated to fade Miles Turner. No, thank you. But I think Alex Sarr sits tonight. I do. Houston Rockets, 3.5-point favies. They're on a back-to-back against the Atlanta Hawks, who are on a back-to-back. Onyeka Okongwu's missing half of his teeth. I don't think he's going to play basketball tonight. They are also without Porzingis. Asa Newell looks like he's rejoined the team after a little G League stint. Also, Zachary Risache is questionable, but it feels like he might miss one more, which means it might as well be June because it's Pride Month. Mo Gay night, baby. Mo Gay. I think it's probably too thin of a play on Underdog, but if you're on those redacted sites, Mo Gay might be gay night here. Could be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's revenge night for everybody. We have PJ revenge, Keyshawn revenge, Michael Porter Jr. revenge, Ryan Rollins revenge, Chris Middleton revenge, Kyle Kuzma revenge. There's revenge all over the place. Revenge in my heart. But anyways, could be a lot of Mo Gay. Houston, man, I kind of think Amin Thompson is a smash tonight. That's like my favorite, maybe my favorite play on the entire slate. Amin Thompson should just go nuts. Right? Amen, amen. Omen. Let's do it. He's going to play like 40 minutes. Maybe KD gets a little bit of a minute cut. Şengün gets a little bit. I don't know. Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls. A must-win game for two teams that need to stay in the play-in. Miami's 25-23. Bulls 23-24. Both teams coming off losses last night. Norman Powell has been questionable every single slate, it feels like, for the last 5 games. I wonder if we see that again, if he's going to miss the true Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr. That's a little bit of fun for him. Josh Giddey, so the Bulls played last night, they play tonight. They've got tomorrow off, and then they play Saturday and Sunday. Feels like Josh Giddey, just back from injury, is not going to play in one of these games, especially last night, his minutes getting up to 30. I don't know. If one of the guys missed for Chicago, Jalen Smith probably goes back into the starting lineup. That's pretty fun. Bam should go nuts tonight. The battle of the rookie of the year. The battle of the whites. The battle of Duke. Cooper Flagg. Con Knipple. So Cooper didn't play last night. Charlotte's favored by 4.5 tonight. Charlotte, their starters didn't have. I don't think any starter played over 30 minutes for Charlotte. I think everybody is assuming Cooper Flagg is going to play. The one thing I will say, Jason Kidd said he hopes to have him back tonight. Cooper didn't even warm up last night. So unless they decided at noon, they had lunch, maybe a sparkling water with a Greek salad. what the fuck we're doing. I don't know, but maybe they decided early in the day he's not going to go. I'm kind of surprised he didn't warm up at all. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous, but whatever. He probably does go. But LaMelo, curious to see if they limit his minutes again. They've been doing it on back-to-backs. We'll have to see. Con is leading the league in miles per game now. There you go. That's just, I love. You can tell when a fan base is excited about their team that hasn't been good in a while because you start rattling off stats like that. Hey, an underrated thing about Charlotte's game, specifically Con Knipple, who I think should be Rookie of the Year, he actually runs around more than some of the other guys. Not enough people are talking about how far he's running. Like, Jalen Johnson only runs 1.35 miles. My guy runs 1.5. This game should be fun, though. I'm excited to watch that game. Brooklyn against... Where Brooklyn at? Denver, 7.5-point faves. Okay, so look at this total, 210.5. Go ahead. Feel free to vom. Brooklyn's already ruled out a bunch of guys. They've ruled out Yegor Demon, Noah Clowney, Haywood Highsmith, Zaire Williams, Cammie Thomas, and then Terrence Mann is also queued up. If Mann were to miss, we might get a lot of Drake Powell, a lot of Traore, some Danny Wolf. But I'm not drafting any of those guys. It is Michael Porter Jr. revenge, though. MPJ against his former team at Denver, too. Claxton, maybe. But the real story to me, and I'm curious what projections are going to do, Jonas Valanciunas put up 16 and 16 in 30 minutes against Jalen Duren, and now he gets the interior defense of Brooklyn. There's no Aaron Gordon tonight, no Christian Brown, obviously no Nikola Jokic. I mean, my name is Jonas, dude. It should be Jonas Sezin. Do we think Watson gives MPJ issues because of defense? Yeah, that's a great point. I'm not going nuts on Michael Porter Jr. I'll show you my ranks after this, mainly because I really like Sabone, Rollins, and Bam ahead of him. So that's kind of why. But anyways, that's where I'm at there. Favored sparkling water. He isn't playing flavored. You mean flavored, right? Yeah, I like this. This is a good take, Mathology. With Denver, I mean, yeah, Jamal. I'm really excited about Jamal tonight. I'm really excited about Jonas. I think Nick Claxton's like a fine little 6-round dart throw, but probably won't go too nuts. And then I think this is the last game of the night, or do we have two more? Two more. Pistons Suns, another low total, 214.5. Detroit's favored by 4.5. Hey, why is Dylan Brooks free? Can somebody tell me? So no Devin Booker. Colin Gillespie's questionable. I know this total sucks. People just aren't drafting Dylan Brooks this morning. Like, what are we doing? What did Dylan Brooks do that last game? Last game without all of the bros? 26 points, 3 boards, 3 dimes, a steal, and a block in 34 minutes. Like, he's going to die. Like, I know the matchup's not awesome, but come on, Dylan Brooks, give me some Suns. I wonder if Mark Williams has to play a little bit more against Jalen Duren, but counting on Mark Williams' minutes, fool's gold. And then Timberwolves and OKC. OKC's getting a little bit healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein is back in action tonight. I imagine he's only playing like 18 to 22 minutes, right? He hasn't played in what feels like 4 years. So I imagine he's like 22 minutes. Case and Wallace is questionable again. Still no Caruso, J-Dub, and A.J. Mitchell. So a little thinned out over there. Timberwolves played last night. Anthony Edwards missed, right? So they had the back-to-back on Sunday, Monday, right? Because the Saturday game got canceled because fuck ice. Sunday he plays and the Timberwolves get smoked by the Warriors. On Monday, he doesn't play after the Warriors sit everybody out, has a Q tag for injury maintenance last night. They play, get the W. Now they host OKC, and the line, is that 5.5 or did that move? Line has now, so when I started this morning, line was at 5.5, it has now moved to 6.5. Okay. Now, I'm of two minds right now because I'm old enough to remember 3 weeks ago where Anthony Edwards was queued up every single game and then played every single game, and I cursed the world. Do you think is it like 50-50 he goes tonight? 75? It is a home game. It is against OKC. They did play last night. I don't think he's 100%. I don't know what to do. Anyways, keeping that in mind. Maybe some more Nas Reed, some more Rudy tonight to go big with the big boys. But that's the slate tonight. That's kind of fun. Regulators saying more snow on Saturday, so Hornets game might get moved. If we get more snow this weekend, I am going to cry. I am going to cry because I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. It's too cold. He's playing on Finsta before the season. Shea is a target on his notes. Okay, there we go. That's a good take. Yeah, I think if I had to pick, I'd lean in, but I don't love the matchup, so I'm not going nuts. Maybe move up Randall a little bit, especially because I don't love some of the Chicago guys. Just real quick, I think there's a chance we do some 89 Cavs a little bit later today, but I forgot I have a basketball game tonight at 8 o'clock, so I wish they'd cancel that just for it being cold and I'm old. But we're hooping tonight. We got to get a W tonight. We have to get it. We're going to be shorthanded again. I'm gonna take at least 10 threes tonight. I'm gonna go full Sammy Hauser. Tomorrow, we get a busy day tomorrow. So the NBA bit, 9 a.m. We get another dog bowl slate tomorrow. So we'll do a slate breakdown. We'll cover some of tonight's stuff. We'll do a slate breakdown in the morning. And then we're going to do, I think we might do like an early live before lock where we do like an hour of drafting from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and then roll right into live before lock at 5 p.m. So that's the plan for tonight. I know I plug this every single show, but if you guys haven't checked out Bagel with Locks, I don't know if somebody plugged it yesterday somewhere. Appreciate if you did. But we're starting to, pick up some traction over there. It's been a lot of fun. Boo, need to slander the Kings on the 89 Cavs. I know, man. So our guy Steve got a new job. We're very excited for Steve. We're excited for our guy Steve, but it's been a little tricky scheduling just because he's a big boy now. Also, shout out Justin, man. Jake Catch over at San Francisco Sketch Fest this past week, doing some comedy in LA right now too. I think he's back tomorrow. So shout out Jake Catch, man. Always good to see the guys cooking. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate everybody hanging today. Stay warm out there. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with the old NBA bit. Let's go, Ryan Rollins, revenge night. It's revenge for everybody. Revenge for me on the underdog streets.